Inyoga, the reason why people use inyoga yokuthwala is because inyoga is silwana sedlozi.
Right.
So even in your dreams, when you see inyoga, yidlozi lelo, right? So the reason they use inyoga is because they need to use one of their own to trick them.
Sia, good morning.
Morning, Ba.
I imagine we need to start by just explaining to the viewer ukuthi kuyini ukuthwala.
Okay. So ukuthwala essentially, right, is creating this fake or synthetic ancestral spirit.
Okay.
Right? And then you use that to go around your own ancestors to access your gifts and your wealth. Because right? Imali, and success and everything else is brought by your ancestors. It needs a vessel, and your ancestors are the ones that carry wealth and everything. But if you want to access that, you need to trick them by creating a fake or synthetic ancestral spirit to go around them, and then instead of your own ancestors bringing your wealth, it is this fake or synthetic spirit that brings you your wealth.
All this to hasten indaba yomcebo ukuthi kuze kalula noma kuze ngokusheshsha. Like, why do people do it?
People do it for a whole host of reasons, right? The number one reason is because it's much harder. Yabo ukulungisa umlando wasekhaya and setting the spiritual foundation for wealth and success emdenini takes maybe 15, 20 years, sometimes 10 years. Yabo?
Right.
So it's a lot longer, it's harder, and it's more draining to do it the long route, but it's more sustainable. Yeah, and you can pass that on to your children. Another reason why people do it as well is it depends on what ancestral spirit you tap into.
Meaning?
In other words, in your history, all of us, there are good and bad ancestors, dark and light.
Yes.
Sometimes imali.
Right.
But now it depends ukuthi utholi imali from the ancestor that dabbled in the dark, or you're getting imali from the one that dabbled in the light.
Oh.
The ones that are in the light, they take a little longer to build the foundation for wealth because they know what is needed. Right. Those that dabble in the dark are not looking for a foundation. They are just looking to make a comeback.
Right.
Because chances are, if there were your ancestors of Ukuthwala in the 1800s, yabo, mhlambe yena washiswa wabulawa and Jesus were in the family, but manje ufuna ukubuya manje so that they can continue their evil.
So are there ever any positives from Ukuthwala?
The way you acquire your wealth can be dark.
Yeah.
But you can use that wealth for good, right? If you decide. So mhlambe, let's say you acquire this wealth and you build this company and you build this organization.
Yes.
The organization is going to hire people, right? So you're creating employment. So that's empowerment. But the people that will suffer, that will never benefit the good, will be your own offspring. And I think it's important to say Ukuthwala is not a black thing. Ukuthwala is a human thing. In South Africa, I don't understand why black people say I don't believe in Ukuthwala and ancestors when we actually don't know what our counterparts are doing in other races.
What would then be the, call it, the ramifications of having usutwele manje usuyadlula emhlabeni?
So if you know babakho mawakhe betwele, you have one of two options. You either lose everything because the muntu that created the synthetic vessel usehambile, so everything kuhamba naye, or two, you carry on where they left off, right?
Whoa.
So if your father has built a nine-figure a company that's grossing 9 figures a year,
right,
and when they pass away, they tell you, okay, fine, in order for us to be this JSE listed company, this is how we've made our money. You need to do this. When you have a choice as a son, you either continue with feeding that synthetic spirit what it wants,
right,
or you lose everything.
Are they physical things? I mean, siyasizwa ngabantu bekhuluma ngenyoka ukuthi kunenyoka ekhona ehlezi kuphi kuphi yakhulunyiswa kanjani. Are there physical, tangible things that go hand in hand nokuthwala?
I like the fact that you brought up inyoka. Inyoka, the reason why people use inyoka yokuthwala is because inyoka is silwana sedlozi.
Right.
So even in your dreams, when you see inyoka, yidlozi lelo, right? So the reason they use inyoga is because they need to use one of their own to trick them. And so we're creating a fake synthetic spirit.
Yes.
So it's essentially like putting a demon in you, right? And then I see you as another human being, and I'm like, oh, it's William. Okay, he's another person. I can treat him like another human being.
Right.
And in actual fact, I don't know what kukhona ngaphakathi.
Sure.
So they use the animal of inyoga. Then, of course, there's other things like isgubhu as well. Other people get isihlahla where they have to wash at leso sihlahla at a particular point in time. But we need to remember that these vessels require spiritual energy. Okay? And the problem with Ukuthwala is that because it's in the dark, no one can research it. It's unpredictable and it's a very volatile space.
Right.
And it's insatiable. We could say today I'm happy with 2 goats, and then the following week it wants 2 babies, or the week after that it wants 2 twins, and so on and so forth. Sure. That is the problem with Ukuthwala.